Hey guys, welcome back to another Peaceful Challenge episode. So today we want to check on the iron farm first again. Yesterday with the issue that it wasn't working overnight, we thought that maybe the problem was that iron golem could spawn under the farm, so that's why we dug the area out. Let's see what the result is this time. So I would expect that the chest is almost filled up after one day, and only for 6 of iron. Alright, so it really seems like the farm isn't working when nobody's on the server. This definitely needs some investigating in creative mode. Game's always changing. It's supposed to work, but maybe something 1.16 changed again. We will do some investigating in the upcoming days about the iron farm issue, but now let's do something else. So far we've only shown normal gameplay footage, but today I want to work a little bit in the creative world and redesign a machine. So I want to redesign the TNT duping tunnel bore, because this would be quite useful, just for general resource mining, or also maybe finding that stronghold. So this is the machine, dupes TNT, shoots it forward, and then could just fly from one end to the other, or well, we won't have it in Lytra, but make your way from one end to the other and check for ores that are getting exposed. Alright, we want to redesign in a way to use as little honey blocks as possible. But some slime blocks are still required. For example, the TNT lands here and is then shot up and over, and there's really no replacement for slime blocks. So I just want to keep the number of slime blocks as low as possible. So I switched over to normal flat creative world. One of the things we really need to work on is the TNT duper module itself. A while ago I actually released a video about slimeless TNT duper modules, but there's one thing extra. We need actually a TNT duping module where the TNT is shot forward. So this is the system I've been using for a couple of years now. We have a cobble wall under the TNT, and actually this slime block here is important to shoot the TNT forward. I'm quite sure there won't be a way around using the slime block here. I can show you what would happen if you have any other block there. TNT would just sit there instead of being shot forward. So this is probably the slime block we can't replace. But let's try to reduce the number of the other slime blocks. The easiest to replace are definitely here the 2 blocks in front. You could just put a honey block there and any other block here, and this should still work. But then it's getting a bit tricky, and we probably have to redesign it a bit more. So here the minecart sitting on a rail, and we couldn't use a honey block there because you can't put rails on top. And at the same time the TNT block needs to be attached to a sticky block. Same goes for the coral. This also needs to be put on a non-honey block. You can't put it on the honey. Alright, I think we can't just keep replacing blocks here. We have to change this a bit more. What's really important when you're working with the TNT dupers is keeping the update order. So if you push the blocks forward, in general the block that is furthest away from the piston gets updated first. The update order we need to keep is coral block before TNT, before the block that is getting powered by the detector rail. Alright, I'm quite sure we can rearrange it in a way that we maybe have the TNT sitting right next to the slime block here. You can probably also replace that. Instead of using a slime block, we just use a normal block and put a minecart on top of that. So I can probably push this forward and the TNT would attach to this. But obviously we can't update it, so we always have to assemble those TNT dupers. Alright, then what we also need would be the wall below. This also needs to be pushed forward, so I probably need another block here and there. Then we need the slime block here at the top, and we need to make sure that is also getting pushed forward. I'm quite sure I can't place a full block on top of the TNT because it jumps up a little bit, but I can probably use a slab, for example, a top slab, so like that. And then we just need one more thing. We need the dead coral. So if I place dead coral on top of a normal block, then we should be able to push this actually. Let's try it out. So assemble the TNT tuber. Let's see what happens if I push this forward. It's unfortunate. think one problem is that actually the wall here attaches to the blocks on the side, and that's why the TNT is getting stuck. If we may place just another slab here, and also, yeah, right next to the TNT, I just have to move this over a block again. So basically, after that, corridors on top of a slab as well. Then the wall wouldn't attach. Let's push this forward real quick. So now the wall doesn't attach to the sides. Let's try to push this. Yes! This is exactly what I wanted. Oh yeah. So we only use a single slime block and are able to shoot the TNT forward. Yeah, shooting the TNT forward makes the whole contraption a bit simpler because it always takes 4 seconds until it explodes, and that's why we just store the TNT on some blocks so we can use it later. If you would drop down the TNT, then you have issues with the height, so that's why I really want to push the TNT forward. Yeah, this is actually really good. This is actually better than the TNT we're using before. This is now 1 wide. Yeah, I've been using the old TNT loop for years. I never thought about changing design. I mean, it was working, so always this TNT loop here. And never thought about really changing it. I mean, it was fine, but this is actually a little bit better. Okay, happy about that. I think there might actually be a way to do this without any slime blocks as well. If you maybe use more TNT as a charge to shoot the first TNT forward. But this will probably also require some blast resistant movable blocks like ancient debris, which we don't have at the moment. So let's try to keep it similar to the old tunnel bore and just use as little slime blocks as possible with the old concept. So the 2 more we need is the one pushing up and over. That's 3 in total. Now it's just a matter of getting the sequence right. So first we need to do TNT, and then about 3.5 seconds later, this needs to be pushed forward, and then also this slime block that pushes TNT towards where it should explode. And then we also need a slab here at the top for the trajectory. So TNT goes up, gets shot over, still has the upwards momentum, bounces against the edge of the slab, and then falls down again and explodes right in front of the machine. A bit more progress. I got the sequence for the front part, so we can push this forward. And as soon as you push this part, TNT gets shot. Now we just need to find the correct delay between pushing this part and this section here. One of the easiest way to add delay on a flying machine would be just to add pulling extensions like those here, but this obviously requires sticky pistons. You could also add delay without any sticky pistons, just by adding some pushing delay. So something like this here, for example. But yeah, this is getting out of hand rather quick, because this only adds 4 ticks of delay like the pushing extension. So I decided to actually try to add a flying machine delay instead, and I got a pretty nice solution that in the end just requires 3 sticky pistons. So we got one here, there, and this one. Let's actually check it out, or assemble it together with the flying machine. The TNT tunnel bore there. So this works rather nicely. Let's see that maybe more in focus. As soon as we push the TNT duping module forward, we also launched this simple flying machine here. Goes back and reverses direction, goes back, and then pushes this section forward. And I think this actually works just as I wanted to. Okay, so we got the main part of the flying machine. Now we just need a start-stop mechanism. So there's kind of 2 ways I could use the tunnel bore. First one would be a super wide machine like this one here that you can use to mine for resources. There you would use a manual activation. So I'll just try this one out. Activate the node block and then moves forward once. This gives you time to check if there are any ores you want to mine. But at the moment we really can't afford to make such a wide flying machine. We don't have the honey blocks, and especially not the slime blocks for that. But you can also make a 1 wide version just to make a tunnel, and we could maybe use that to search for a stronghold. And in that case, you don't want to activate the machine each time you move forward. We need to kind of loop this. So we can make a loop here in the back using the extensions, and in front we would have this minecart start-stop mechanism. I usually prefer this over, for example, spamming an observer to stop a flying machine, because this is really easy to start the contraption. Just move the minecart over to the normal rail, then this detector rail unpowers, the piston would retract, and then the whole contraption gets started. And to stop, just move it back over, and then piston here stays extended like it is right now, and then it can't be pushed forward anymore and has to stop. Alright, let's see, can we just replace the slime blocks with honey? Probably not, because we can't put rails on top. Let's see if we can actually come up with a solution to use this without any slime blocks. This time I have to admit defeat. It seems like this time I can't find a way around using those two slime blocks here. So this one could be replaced by honey, but those two slime blocks, there's no way around it. Because I can't move this to the right one block, because the tunnel wouldn't be wide enough. I can't move it one further ahead, because then there's a chance that TNT would blow it up. I can't move it back, because then the TNT would get stuck. So this doesn't leave me any options this time. I guess we have to use two more slime blocks. That kinda hurts. Or I just use a no block activation each time, just so we can try it out, and then maybe later we can upgrade. Alright, this has been really nagging at me, so I took a little bit of a break, came back a couple hours later and tried again, and I think I found a working solution. So I moved the start-stop mechanism up here, so that's never in the way of the TNT entity, and you also won't get suffocation damage, already checked. So, for example, instead of using the walls here on the side where attached to a slime block, just use those blocks here to prevent the minecart from rolling off. And it's working. Should I say, let's try it out. Just gonna roll this minecart over here, and this will start the whole machine. And it's nicely working. So as you can see, I already dug through this block of stone, got another one in front. TNT is always shot directly in front of the machine. It makes the tunnel is large enough for the whole machine to fit through. So in total I'm using exactly 3 slime blocks now for the whole machine. Not saying this can't be improved, but not with this concept. And I also need 8 sticky pistons. So we're not quite there yet, we can't afford this. I think we got at the moment 6 sticky pistons and 19 slime balls. So I gotta go back to our improvised panda farm and grind this out. We already have plans for a more efficient panda farm. But yeah, for now I think I'm just gonna use the current setup. Once we got enough resources, we're gonna build the big panda farm. It's gonna be amazing, by the way. Alright. You can see the machine slowly makes its way in there. Pretty neat, yep. So he would sit here. It's actually also a really nice overview of the whole thing. I kinda actually like doing challenges like this one here, because it really forces you to think outside of the box. If I would have just used slime blocks, then the Nember would came up with the idea to move it over here. It's not quite as convenient as the other one, where you could get in from a lower level, but you could jump on top of this observer. Then on top of this block, and then you can click on the minecart, so you can still easily get in there. And the view is even better than what's coming in front. Alright. While we're in creative, let's also quickly do the iron farm investigation, see what's going on. So I was testing this farm for almost 24 hours, and it's still working at a steady pace. I was kind of worried there might be some degradation, maybe related to the whole gossip mechanic, but that's certainly not the case. I'm getting 158 items per hour, and this has been steady for quite a while now. So the iron farm is definitely working and won't get slower over time. Next, let's test this on an actual server. So here we are on the SciCraft Creative World. I set up an iron farm in the spawn chunks again, and I got a counter running. At the moment we got 55 items. Let's see what happens if I log off and log back in 1 minute. So one full Minecraft day later, the iron farm didn't produce any more items. Something is really wrong with the iron farm if nobody's on the server. So I have a suspicion that maybe the chunks are not entity processing or the whole dimension is unloaded. That's why I got a little test set up here. You shoot an armor stand into tripwire, and here we have just a little clock we can activate. So yeah, they get both activated the same amount of time. Let's see what happens if I log off. As you can see in the back, golems are spawning right now. Let's log off and then log back in. There's a discrepancy, then yep, this confirms it. The chunks are still loaded, but the spawn chunks apparently are no longer entity processing if nobody's on the server. So actually check what happens if we fly away. Yep. Both clocks add to the score. So this is only the case if nobody's in the server. If you would do something else 1,000 blocks away, then the iron farm would be working. I think this was also the case from what we've seen in survival. But when you log off, then the iron farm stops working. Alright, now let's find a workaround for this. I found two possible solutions. So we could also build the iron farm somewhere else and use the portal chunk loading. But we could also keep it in the spawn chunks and use it. So we would send a minecart into the nether, and then the minecart comes back immediately. We would need to send one minecart every 14 seconds to keep this loaded. And this would also keep really any chunks loaded, so we could have the iron farm anywhere. Another option would actually be, like in older versions, to shoot items through a portal. Could also use a 14-second clock. Just have a dropper there, send an item through. This also would keep the spawn chunks entity processing. I think we're gonna go for the minecart system, since there we also don't need to worry about losing items. What we actually do on the Cyclops server, we have a little rail duper there, just send items through the portal, and then on the other side they get destroyed by fire. You could also cycle the item back, so you wouldn't lose any, but this is pretty much the same as the minecart system here. So I guess we're gonna go for that anyway. So let's do one more test to verify this. Let's do the little test with the armor stand as well. Let's log off. Wait a short moment and log back in. And then both counters are still at the same number. Alright, now we just need to build this in survival. Alright, now it's time to build the chunk loading setup for the spawn chunks. First I need to get a minecart. Good, we have a lot of iron here. The first thing we need to do is actually check in which direction the minecart will come out. On this side. So, do we have some slabs? Yeah, brought some. An upwards facing dropper here. The minecart will go through the top portal block. This actually gives us enough room to sneak out of the portal down there. Okay, then I didn't bring any nice building blocks, unfortunately. I think I'm just gonna use the slabs instead. Oh, I could use pumpkins. Okay. So let's see. Here we need powered rails, redstone block on top. Let's send the minecart through the portal. Then hopefully it comes out on the other side in the nether. Okay, this side. Already placed the blackstone here, so it doesn't drive off into the lava. Okay, on this side we basically also need some slabs here. And then, the same dropper setup, send the minecart back to the overworld. And I forgot to bring a hopper, quickly craft one. Yeah, now we can add the hopper here. Then we need powered rails once again. Going this way, and then we can also place some normal rails on this side. Right, I also brought a sand block. Gonna break the minecart for cactus. Yeah, just need to place the sand on. Cactus. And this actually needs to place this way. Yeah. Now I just need to take an output from the dropper. Guess I just used the blackstone as a building block. It's kind of neat. So comparator. Could also take it from the hopper. Think about it. Might be a bit simpler to do it like that. So I'll just put down a repeater here. 2 ticks. And then server pointing into dropper. Block. And a redstone block. And yeah, this side should be functional. Let's try it out. Still get the minecart. Okay, basically just should come back. Nope. What happened? Oh, the minecart didn't make it to the top. That's a bit disappointing because when I tried this earlier in creative, did that. Yep, live stuff if you're done. I used the dropper instead of a dispenser. I'll head back and try to get one, but this might actually be a problem. So we might not have string. To my defense, it was the hottest day in Germany today, and it's still above 30 degrees in my room. Alright, let's try this out now with actual dispensers. So if the minecart comes back. Not even the problem. Why does the minecart get stuck? Oof, so that took a while. Despite building it the same as in the creative world at first, it worked a bit differently. The minecart always gets stuck here in the block. Maybe the portal position is really important for that. I'll try to investigate later, but for now, yeah, let this run. Tomorrow we can come back and check if you have a lot of iron. Now I need to get the rest of the slime balls. I need to breed approximately 100 baby pandas and get them into the contraption here, which is quite tedious. I really can't wait until we can finally upgrade to the proper farm. Pretty much everything is automated. We can even use it while AFK. That's it for today. Unfortunately, wasn't able to gather all the materials to build the talent boar, but we'll do that for sure in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next episode. Bye bye.